Suggesting a nasty punch straight to the fielder. Just a little bit intent from Aiden Markham. He's 19 from 19, so still striking at 100. There's that little feather of an edge. We didn't see Dennis Miller signal anything, did we? And Ramesh Sharma was not convinced that he heard anything either. It goes in the favour of the South Africans. That would have been a huge blow. Upstairs again. It's again in the middle. And signing against it. He done 33 to 3.
To wear purple and gold, it's a different feeling.
It's like the Roman Empire.
Should be my team. Follow me. I am that killer stage. Relax. I'm still in charge. All hell broke loose.
Good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
Sir, namaste.
Namaste, sir.
Yeah, I think it's time we should get
Good
started.
evening to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Sir, namaste.
Good evening to everyone, and it's time we should get started.
Yes, sir. And another 2 to 3 minutes.
तो खराब हो जाता वो कोई मच्छर कहूँ
On you to all.
मच्छर चाल रहा है और की बुरी में वो खराब कौन
Namaskar, sir. I am Dr. Jayaprakash Malay,
Sir, namaste.
World Ayurveda Foundation.
I'm looking for the meeting to be started.
Yes, sir. Dr.
sir.
Manoj
evening.
Nesari, have you joined, sir?
Good evening to all of you. Dr. M.M.
Dr.
Pani from this side. Dr. Bimal.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Dr. Manoj Nesari, sir, have you joined, sir? Dr. Manoj Nesari, sir. Okay. Good evening, one and all. My name is Dr. Bimal on behalf of Indian Veterinary Association and the World Ayurvedic Foundation. I welcome all the participants, our chairperson, moderator, and delegates to this session. So today we have two sessions. First part is our this panel session, which we call as International Dialogue Session. On the topic, the roadmap for establishing Ayurveda as a credible alternative therapy in global veterinary practice. And after that, it will be for 45 minutes. And after that, we will go for our valedictory session. So I will invite Dr. Manoj Nesari, the National Advisor of Ayurveda to Ministry of Ayush, Government of India, to give the opening remarks. Sir. Namaste, sir.
Yes, namaste. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. We have with us our Vice Chancellor, Padma Shri, Professor Dr. Motilal Madan, sir. And our Animal Husbandry Commissioner is joining with us soon. And our
Yeah, I have
Dr.
already
Anu
joined. I am
Sharma,
with you. I was waiting for the meeting.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And Dr. Manoj Nesari, sir, is instrumental in starting all this National Ayurveda Day in 2016. And this year, after I met him in Delhi, this year we decided that, all the SARC Veterinary Association, we will celebrate this as a World Veterinary Ayurveda Day. We invited European Academy of Ayurveda. They also accepted that, yes, we will celebrate it as a World Veterinary Ayurveda Day. So it's a milestone. Sir, over to you, Manoj Nesari, sir.
So thank you, Dr. Bimal, for taking this initiative. And I'm really very happy that Dr. Bimal and the Indian Veterinary Association and all the dignitaries, those who have joined over here. So you have taken a lead in integrating the ancient knowledge of Ayurveda, the veterinary Ayurveda, in the mainstream of the veterinary Ayurveda. And as many of you might know, that in the ancient time when the Ayurveda was the only mainstay of the healthcare system, and when we say Ayurveda, so Ayurveda is not limited to only human being. Ayurveda is also for the animals, and not only even animals, even for the plants as well. And in this context, we know that there are Ashwa Ayurveda is there, Hasti Ayurveda is there, Go Ayurveda is there. So these different Ayurveda they are there, and there are different specialty text for these Ayurveda for dedicated animals. So it is there, and in the ancient time, as the cows and horses, they were also used. So cow and mainly cows, so they were used as a livestock. At the same time, the horses and elephants, they were used, especially in the battlefield, and that's why the health of all these animals, all these veterinary aspects, so it was there, and it was being treated very effectively in those days. In the ancient time, we find the references for this even in Ramayana and Mahabharata also. So all the references are there. And if we go in the ancient text of Ayurveda, so it is not only limited to the mammals, but even the references are there that even when the fever is there for the fish, so even the references for the fish, so that is also there. So Palakappe Samhita are there. So there are many ancient texts are there where the various the living being. So whether they are plant, for the plant it is the Vriksha Ayurveda, for the fish, for the animals. So this kind of Ayurveda it is there. And with the initiative taken by the government, I'm really thankful to the organizers for organizing this webinar and meeting. And I would like to share with you that in the past few months, we had a brainstorming meeting with all the experts from the veterinary science, how to integrate Ayurveda, and with the lot of churning. Now, actually, it has been decided that the various principles and practices of Ayurveda, so they will be integrated at the relevant level of the education in the veterinary education. So for example, when the anatomy physiology is taught in the first year, so at the same time, the principles of Ayurveda, that is the dosha and the dhatu, so they will also be taught in that first year. And likewise, it will grow gradually
गेट
so
तो मेरे
that,
भाई पता नहीं गया कि भी गेट से गया
Yeah. Sir, go ahead, sir.
मुझे तो पहली बार पता लगा जो गेट
yeah,
ये याद नहीं
may I
छोटा लोग
request, excuse me, may I request others to please mute?
Yes, sir, I'm waiting.
मैं सोच के यार ये छोटा वाला गेट भी खुल गया वो तो बड़ा वाला गेट खोल रहे हैं जो
Excuse me.
मुझको दिया आज ये चीज
Please mute others.
और नक्शा चेंज कर गया ले भाई रैंप पे बना
Sir, can you speak, sir, right now?
Yes, thank you. So in the education of the veterinary, the various subjects of Ayurveda as it is done in the BAMS, so similarly it is being done for the veterinary science also, so that right from the first year, all the students, they will get to know, understand the various principles of Ayurveda, because the Ayurveda, or when we say about the veterinary Ayurveda, it is not only substituting a chemical product or a synthetic product with some herbal product. So this is not the veterinary Ayurveda. It is the understanding the overall physiology, like we understand the physiology of the human being in Ayurveda terminology. So similarly, we have to understand the nature of animals. Even we find in the pets that the prakriti, every pet has a typical prakriti. Say for example, some of the dogs or some of the cats, so they are very bold, and some of them, they are really fearful. Some of them, they are quite intelligent and they understand our commands very easily, and some of them, they are very coward and they run away. So these various kind of behavior, so it is there in the pets also, it is there in the animals also, like the livestock also. So this depends upon the prakriti of the animal, though they are actually grown in the similar atmosphere, whether they are grown in the similar with the surroundings and the overall conditions, but even then their response to any stimuli, so that will differ, and that depends upon the concept of prakriti. So like the prakriti is there for the human being, similarly prakriti is there for the animals as well. And some of the animals, so though the diet will be same, but some of them, they will be grow faster, some of them, they will grow tall, some of them, they may not grow tall. So that everything, it depends upon their prakriti. This prakriti is very important when we are treating the animals with Ayurveda, and we have to develop the detailed guidelines, because in the human being, we can have the questionnaire and we can ask the individual, so what is their response. But in case of animals, either we have to actually observe the animal, or we have to ask the owner of the animal, so what is their behavior and other things. So this questionnaire we have to, so there is some little tweaking is required, we minor amendments would be required, and then gradually this science will actually grow. I would also like to mention over here that the prakriti is there. Similarly, the response of the animals to different infections, that also differ. That depends upon their prakriti. That depends upon their immunity. So these fundamental principles of the dominance of the dosha and the dhatu in animals is very much required. At the same time, there are many. If we talk from the commercial point of view, so there are aspects like, say, for example, in the milking cows, when the mastitis is there, so bovine mastitis, so we know that actually it leads to the reduction in the milk production. And with the help of Ayurveda, we understand that there could be good remedies without actually affecting the physiology of the milking cows, the breast. So we can actually maintain the proper the milk production, so that can be maintained. We can increase the milk production without intervention of any hormones or any other synthetic chemicals, and that would be even healthier for the human being as well. And the same is there for the poultry. So likewise, there is a lot of scope is there for the integrating the Ayurveda, the herbal products, and overall the betterment of the various animals, whether they are the pets, whether they are the livestock, or whether it is the poultry. So the scope is very wide, and I'm sure that once this the science will grow, about there will be more knowledge about the behavior of the animals and how actually we can develop the guidelines. So I'm really thankful to all those who are experts, those who are here, the vice chancellor, the professors, and the I can also see Dr. Jayaprakash Narayan. He is also here. So I'm really thankful that all of you are here, and we definitely look forward to work along with you, and let us work together for a better tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Hope you always give an insightful view to us, and we look forward to see you in Goa, sir. And we expect around 300 veterinarians will attend our Goa Pasu Ayurveda conclave this time. And IVA has taken this initiative to invite delegates from our SAARC countries to our SAARC Veterinary Association. Thank you, sir. Namaste, sir. So let me welcome the chairman of our panel session, Padma Shri Professor Dr. Motilal Madan sir. Professor Madan sir was awarded Padma Shri this year for his contribution to the Society for Embryo Transfer Technology. He was two-time Vice Chancellor of Dubhasu and PDAU Akola. He holds the position of DDG Animal Science at ICR. He was assigned as Joint Director Research at NDRI. He has 228 publications, and he has many more feathers, and it will take a long list to read all these things. So with further no more delay, I invite Professor ML Madan sir to be the chairperson of the panel session. Sir. Now let me yeah, sir, you are muted, sir. Sir, you are muted. Madan sir, you are muted.
Madan sir, you are muted. Professor Madan sir, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
I was thinking that I'm audible. Well, I was saying that thank you very much, but instead of going for a long introduction, that we are short of time. We are left just about 40 minutes of time, and rather only about 30 minutes of time, and we have to be very specific.
Yes, sir.
I would say we have gotten a list of panelists over here.
Yeah.
And it will be very interesting to listen from them. And if we can pose a couple of questions to them and have their answers, I think that will be more appropriate to this situation. An introduction has already been provided as far as the Ayurveda is concerned. I don't have to add much to that, except for one basic thing, which probably we miss very much. And that is that as a veterinarian, in the subject of pharmacology, what we all learn is about these herbs and drugs. And that's all what it is, that when we talk of Ayurveda, that we are talking of the same medicines. And just as we talk of pharmacology and we talk of as a pharmacist that we have to prove the efficacy of those things, similarly, it is high time that we come forward in the Ayurveda also with trying to find out the active principles, verifying those active principles, identifying the way they have got their seat of action, and then further go on to see that how they can be very effectively used for various ailments in the livestock, in our animal kingdom. No doubt to say that they are practiced at present. We have got a large number of preparations which have been prepared over the years, the past years. I remember that the first thing we were talking about in Ayurveda was that a word which used to call be prajanan. I hope that the Himalayan drugs will feel very flattered to listen about that, because it used to be that at that time that the one which will be stimulating pregnancy. But that's about 50 years back. Since then, we have come a long way. So if I think that will it be proper that if I pose a couple of questions and then I request the panelists in here, which you have already informed them that they should come forth if they have got some specific views to present on them.
Yeah.
The first
For
thing.
this,
Yeah.
Let me invite today's moderator, Dr. M. Barber, Director, Vet Helpline Private Limited. He has contributed a lot to our society. He has worked in the interface of veterinary science and social development. He is a contributor to World Organization for Animal Health and APO. Sir.
And I think as a moderator, it should be his job to be doing this work of introducing questions and getting answers.
Yes, sir. Actually,
But I'm only concerned that we should keep the time.
yes,
Because we
yes,
have
sir.
to be in time, and because I have to go somewhere for another engagement. Okay.
Yeah, sir.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. With your permission, I would like to quickly moderate, and we will come to the point directly. In fact, we are talking about a roadmap, and we all know and appreciate about the science of Ayurveda. So there is no point of talking about Ayurveda as of now. But what is the roadmap that we are to go ahead with? I would like to invite my panelist out here, Dr. Madan Mohan Padi, sir, retired DDGS, Central Council for Research in Ayurvedic Science. Sir, are you here?
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar. Yes, I am here.
Thank you, sir. Sir has experience in clinical practice and in conducting clinical studies also. We have Professor Dr. Baradhan Ranganathan, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. I am available, sir.
Thank you, sir, for joining this panel discussion. Sir is the professor and head of Department of Veterinary Pharmacology and Toxicology, Veterinary College and Research Institute, Ornathandu, Tanjavur, under Tamil Nadu Veterinary University, and he has an experience of ethnopharmacology. We have Professor Dr. Arun Kumar Das. Sir, are you here? Professor Das? I hope he is yet to join.
Yes, sir. He joins.
Yeah, Professor Das is the principal of Government Ayurvedic College and Hospital, Balangir, Orissa. We have Dr. Vishwanath Bhagavat. Dr. Vishwanath is principal scientist at the Himalaya Drug Company. Sir, are you here?
Yeah.
Welcome, sir. Yeah, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
We have with us also Dr. Daniel Tamizzen, who is a livestock scientist and the current president of Ethiopian Society for Animal Production. Sir, are you here?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Good evening.
Welcome, sir. Welcome to the discussion. And I must say that Dr. Daniel has experience in natural livestock farming, and he's also an executive member of Foundation for Natural Livestock Farming. We have Professor Unikrishnan Payapalli. Sir, are you here? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here.
Now, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Sir is an Ayurvedic physician and development researcher. And interesting is he is also a doctorate in international development studies. Sir, I really appreciate your profile, and there is no time to discuss go detail into it. But he is representing the University of Transdisciplinary Health Sciences and Technology, which is one of the unique university in India. So quickly going into our first round of discussion, I would not, you know that Ayurveda is already recognized in 30 countries, and it has the track record of safety and efficacy as an alternative therapy. And current year, I mean, say Ayush is getting $18.1 billion business, I'm saying in terms of the export and other things. So there is no point of talking whether Ayurveda is good or bad. It's already being accepted. So the quality scientific evidence of Ayurveda treatment is first emerging, but at the same time, as we're talking about globalization of Ayurveda, we need to understand that there is still a point of contention about the documentation and quality research for evidence in Pashu Ayurveda. So let me first give you a brief of the procedure of the panel discussion, because I am just putting up the question first, and then any of the panelists, based on his comfort, he can volunteer to give answer. And please restrict to your answer for 2 minutes only, so that we can quickly, and then other panelists can add value if they want to add value to it. So my first question is, what will you do differently in next few years to further ensure documentation and quality research for evidence in Pashu Ayurveda. So this is open to the panelists. Anybody can take this question, please. Should I repeat the question? What should we do differently in the next few years to further the documentation and quality research for evidence in Pashu Ayurveda? Any of the panelists can take the question?
Yeah, I will like to answer.
Yes, please.
Dr. Nasri advisor was the appropriate person to answer this. However, I am answering. You see, veterinary practices of herbal medicine are at 3 stages. One is there are many manuscripts available on Pashu Ayurveda, Gaja Ayurveda or Gosastra. They are not yet published. First step should be taken to publish those. Number 2, those who are published either in Sanskrit language or in regional languages, they should be compiled and the formulations described therein should also be complied. Number 3, there are the plants very common for human use and also for same are for animal use. And the safety and the efficacy data are available for those plants. So for those plants, we have no problem. And the plants we are exclusively used for animals, not for humans, the research study should be conducted. Further, the veterinarians in most of the parts, last 5 days I have heard to many veterinarians, they use some veterinary practices from ethno-veterinary medicines and they have got successful results. Please collect the experience of those. And another thing, ICAR has also established some centers and collected ethno-veterinary practices from so many states. So all those should be collected and some selected formulations should be validated. If in coming years, these activities will be carried out, then I will, as our Vice Chancellor said, told, we will get some scientific evidence and that will be more helpful to the veterinary practitioners to on herbal medicines. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Madan. I would like to request Honorable Chairman, sir, to kindly, because you need to sum it up at the later part of the panel discussion. So kindly help me out to note the specific suggestion from the panelists, sir.
No, that's perfectly all right. You are going,
Yes, sir.
you are doing all right. The only thing is that my concern is that these have to be very brief. The questions as well as the answers have to be very brief and specific.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to do that one.
What in short you asked was that how do we go ahead with capacity building? That's what actually you were hitting.
No, I'm just talking about the initial point of documentation and how to ensure the quality research for evidence. You see, he has rightly pointed out about the need for documentation.
You know, when we say that capacity building, the first part of the, the subsection A of capacity building means that we should have a proper documentation.
Yes.
Because that will only lead us, take us further. And that's what is required. And for this, that we should have a streamlined function. It should not be an isolated function from place to place. There should be a national concept onto that. And on that basis, that we should make up a streamlined functioning of making a communication system through which that all the information which is available can be put in. For this, we might have to charter, the group might have to charter a couple of people amongst us and give them the responsibility that maybe in a 4 months' time or a 5 months' time, you kindly document, not maybe in details, but at least they introduce them to an audience that this is what we have with respect to this.
In fact, sir, as you give your summary later on, this may be a first point that you have already highlighted. So
there are a couple of, that there are 2 or 3 books which have already come up. There are some of the European authors also. One is from the American author. One is from our own country also. That I think that those are the basis on which we should build further.
Yes, sir. So let me quickly go because we have limited time. We need to I should speak less as the chairman sir has already pointed out. My point of second follow-up question is that research to use. I mean, say we are doing a lot of research in Ayurveda field now. But do you think that, as the chairman has already pointed out, do you need how to build capacity for improved communication of research? So we need to communicate whatever we are doing to the global audience. So what is the opinion of the panelists on this? How to improve our communication of Ayurvedic research?
Thank you, Dr. Saab. improve the communication of research, main thing is like we have to go with the evidence-based research.
Yes.
That's the first and foremost. Second thing is we need to form a group which includes researchers, clinicians, and academicians, so that they can improve the communication of research. And third thing is like need to continuous training of the human resource with respect to veterinary Ayurveda. These
Yes.
are the 3 points I would like to highlight with respect to build the communication of research.
Good. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Very good. I'm saying we are recording this transaction. I'm saying the entire webinar. I think we will be able to transcript, get the suggestions of honorable panel members. In fact, many a time there's one hand is raised. I could not see the name here. It is only veterinary Ayurveda written here. May I know who is trying to put any view? Is it a panelist? Is he a panelist? Hello. Dr. Bimal, can you
it's
change
me,
the
sir,
name?
Daniel.
Pardon?
Yeah, my opinion on this is that we need to have a common yardstick or common measurement, you know, so that we can communicate easily. So we need to have some guide which actually be used commonly to communicate. So common yardstick, common measurement, and common
Yeah,
guide.
basically the standards you are talking about. Common standards for comparability of research and other things. So I would like to request panelists to please change the name in your, because I cannot see otherwise. Please say it's, yeah, thank you, Dr. Daniel. Dr. Daniel, thank you for raising this point. In often actually we see that there is a perception that Ayurvedic research is looked into as on a biased way, you know, and as far as scientific discourse is concerned. So we need to change this perception about the research in Ayurveda. So do you think that we can do anything on improving the perception part of it? Any panelist? How best we can handle the perception associated with Ayurvedic research? Yes. Hello. Any panelists would like to take this question?
Yeah. Global audience are very much receptive about Ayurveda or Ayurvedic concept. Only thing what we need to do is like we need to provide evidence-based research, novel product, and certification and licensing of Ayurvedic products. As of now, presently in India, we don't have much, stringent quality aspects for Ayurvedic product. If you take care of that stringent quality aspects, so then I think
automatically the perception will change. Yes. Anybody would like to add value to it? Any of the other panelists? Please feel free to add value to the first speaker who is taking the question. So if there is no addition here, I would like to go to the next question.
I think that if I, excuse me, I would like to intervene in here. What is lacking in this is that unless and until we have acceptability to what we are doing, we'll always run into problems of having that people questioning.
Yes.
What are we trying to do? Because one was what we call as the colloquial medicine. For example, the historic association of Ayurveda has been a colloquial medicine. And that is not only with Ayurveda, it has been with all medicines, whether we talk of Socrates. And from that time, that then subsequently came a thing where the things were experimented by people on their own self and on the basis of which that they provided an evidence. So today, I think that unless and until we go towards a strong evidence supported.
So very well said by that.
Unless we do that evidence supported, that I don't think that we'll be able to make it.
Yeah, the one is the quality of products, and then creating the evidence which is coming up as one way of handling the perception thing. The next question, I would like please mute yourself if you are in a different place. Okay, let us. I'm saying while discussing on this, can you say that can we learn anything from the as far as Pashu Ayurveda, because this discussion is mostly on Pashu Ayurveda. Can we learn anything from the modern medicine, human medicine, that can be, can be used in Pashu Ayurveda in terms of, promotion of Pashu Ayurveda globally? Can we learn anything from modern medicine?
Yeah, definitely we can learn a lot of things. In fact, mainly we can discover new treatments, making sure that existing treatment in the best possible way we can go for. Even research can find answer to things that are unknown. Again, we can fill the gap between the gap of knowledge, whatever we are presently doing, that gap can be filled, and the change the way the healthcare professional work, that also we can ensure.
Yeah. And any other panelists would like to add into it?
Yeah,
Anything
I think we have to base on universal validity of the knowledge we had, and I think that is the main characteristics of the modern medicine that actually made. So the perception that people having that this modern medicine is universal, but Ayurvedic medicine is local. That perception needs to be broken by making Ayurvedic knowledge global and universal validity, increasing its universal validity.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Daniel. I'm gonna say usually it is said that the research methodology in Ayurveda are different from modern medicine and hence not comparable. What is your opinion on this? To make Ayurvedic research acceptable to the global audience, is the statement how to handle this statement? Because usually says that Ayurveda research methodologies are different and it's not comparable. How do you handle this particular argument?
Can I come in here?
Yeah, please. Yes, Professor.
Okay, thank you. I think this is an important question. Primarily, due to lack of evidence for many of these practices, I think there is always a kind of discontent about the way research is conducted in Ayurveda. So I think a primary basis for looking at Ayurveda should be based on an approach to practice-based evidence. There are large number of practices that are efficacious, and that's happening in the field. So as Madan sir mentioned earlier, we need to have a systematic all India coordinated research program for developing this kind of practice-based evidence. And that practice-based evidence approach can be holistic in terms of capturing the full strength of Ayurveda. And now there are these emerging disciplines like network pharmacology, Ayurbiology, reverse pharmacology, etc. And these have to be brought into the veterinary learning systems. And those approaches, which are much more broad-based than the linear approach of current in vitro in vivo practices, I think that should be brought into in order to capture the holistic essence of these practices. And as Manoj Nesri sir mentioned, the idea of individualization, personalization, all these should be brought into. So it must be much more broad-based. Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate our honorable panelists for sticking to the time. I hope
I would like to say here that you see that when we are talking of traditional and talking of Ayurveda, we have the concept of what we call as the theory of Tridosha, that in which that we are talking of the conditions of Vata, conditions of Pitta, and conditions of Kapha. Now, these things which are traditionally is that in that structure, it is not something which we can go and apply onto the livestock. Because here I have seen that there are some of my colleagues and who are very passionately involved in using of Ayurvedic medicines. But that there are two concepts which we call as the Ayurvedic thought had gone over to the Yunnan, that's the Misr and Yunnan. And then they developed a system of medicine, which is called the Unani medicine. Now, what is that Unani medicine? Unani medicine is the medicine which has been brought out of herbs and out of experimentation, that is what is prescribed as a medicine for things.
Yes.
So therefore, we have to go over into this, instead of going over into the traditional aspects of it, we have to go into the present day modern experimented scientific
Methodologies.
No, methodologies.
Yeah, so that was the.
And I will not say that the methodologies were different or different. Methodologies is a scientific verification. This scientific means that it has to be repeated over and over again, and under a controlled condition, we should have the same results. That's all what has to be done.
Yeah, definitely.
That is done, it becomes acceptable.
Yeah, yes, very well. So my initial question was that, can we do something on the research methodologies in Ayurveda that so that it can make itself comparable to the other methodologies being done in the medical science as such? So do you see any challenge here? I mean, say the kind of methodology we use in Ayurvedic research.
Sure, the challenges are tremendous. You see, I have been talking to some of these manufacturers that, when we talk of an herb, and we talk about its active principle, the active principle is depending upon the environment in which that herb is developed. The active principle is depending upon the age of the plant. The active principle is depending upon the condition of its age, the age of the plant.
Yes.
And therefore, that when we talk of these exact extracts out of them, which come out and then we use them as a medicine.
Yeah, definitely.
We have to take care of those things. That's why the experimental control comes in.
Yeah, definitely. I'm saying, I have rightly pointed out that there are challenges because, but we have to see how best we can make our research methodologies comparable and thus acceptable. So in this context, again, I must say that we need a lot of fundamental research to go into in Ayurveda.
No doubt about it.
And but my last question under this particular round is, what is your opinion about multidisciplinary approach in Pashu Ayurveda? What is your opinion about the multidisciplinary approach in Pashu Ayurveda? How best we can do it? Because this is required for globalization. Any of the panelists would like to jump into this question? Sorry, I'm not taking anybody's name because, for the sake of time, I'm keeping it open for all.
That's perfectly all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this can be facilitated by applying the knowledge, Ayurveda ancient knowledge and practice. This need to be applied at individual level, community level, as well as animal healthcare provider levels, and it should not be limited to the medicinal system itself. So I think with that we can
my question was on having the multidisciplinary approach. Anybody would like to add to here?
Yes, I am Dr. Padhi. I would like to say something on this. You see, what all you are telling about the methodology of research described in ancient texts of Ayurveda, what is based on dosha, vata, pitta, kapha, and prakriti and others. Another thing is drug discovery. In allopathic science, you see modern medicine is discovered after preclinical studies. In preclinical studies, they see the biological activity and toxicity profile, acute toxicity, chronic toxicity, subject like that. Then they come for clinical trial on human beings, phase 1 on single patient, normal person, then phase 2, phase 3 in a larger group, phase 2 in a smaller group, then phase 4 is post-marketing surveillance. So in case of veterinary science, in our CCRS also for a human clinical trial, we adopt both the methodologies as described in Ayurveda. What are the changes or what are the parameters of Prakriti and other assessment as per Ayurvedic science, as well as we also assess the modern parameters, all pathological tests, biochemical tests, and other things. So to develop any new drug in veterinary science, it will require a multidisciplinary approach, because Ayurvedic doctor will say about the fundamentals, about the drugs and ingredients described in Ayurveda, Pashu Ayurveda, and the modern veterinary pharmacologist will see their toxicity profile and activity. Thereafter, clinical trial on animals will be done by veterinary doctors. Those who are in clinical specialty. So this will be the right approach to discover any new drug.
Yes, thank you, sir. So this ends our first round of question related to research and documentation and other aspects. Let me quickly go into the round 2. Briefly give you an idea. Said this year 1.7 crore people participate in various campaigns to promote Ayurveda, which is likely to create demand for solutions of Ayurveda. You must all agree, because there's a huge campaign going on. And so what can be the more innovative way to push demand for Pashu Ayurveda amongst farmers and animal owners globally? The question is, what can be the more innovative way to push demand for Pashu Ayurveda amongst farmers and animal owners globally? We are doing the campaign this year. 1.7 crore people have been reached with this campaign. But what else can we do to improve the demand? I request panelists to throw light on this.
Yeah. Actually, the demand is high. Like for example, in my country, Ethiopia, we are now also creating demand, and we are also campaigning. So there are a lot of demand coming from the farmers and the pastoralists, livestock owners. So I think the issue now is to have validated and well documented and products, actually validated products, and that is very important. And then the other issues are issues of issues of legality and issues of whatever, to export products and knowledge and so on and so forth. There are so many other issues. Otherwise, I think the demand from my experience in my country is it's higher, because we done some small projects, and then from those projects we see good results, and people are also happy to continue with that. But the issue is now the specific product availability, and then all the business issues and the export and
maybe
yeah.
If we look into the 3 points and say availability, access, affordability, all these things comes into once we're trying to generate more demand globally in terms of product. But coming back to, I hope there is no additional value addition by other panel experts. Would you like to add any point out here?
Yeah, I think if I may come in, capacity building of veterinarians at a fast pace, I think that will create a lot of impact, especially in India. In the last 5 to 8 years of our work in TDU, what we have found is once veterinarians get this understanding that there are alternatives, I think it will go faster. Then, of course, I think we need to be clearly supporting also the village-based ethno-veterinary healers. They have often been marginalized and neglected in this development. So veterinary healers. Then another is to create centers of excellence in our veterinary higher education programs, because we don't have learning resource centers for Pashu Ayurveda. Yeah. So that's an immediate need. And of course, we need to broaden the understanding of Pashu Ayurveda into One Health and the domains that are. Yeah, thank you.
Definitely. Professor Ranganathan, would you like to add anything here?
Yes, sir. Actually, the veterinarians and also farmers, they should be also given awareness, sir.
Yeah.
And because it is a farmer who is going to the veterinary dispensary at the last moment, and he should be accepting the treatment given by the veterinarian. So he should not think of taking the injection for his animal. He should accept the Ayurvedic medicine. So for which he should be given awareness.
Awareness on it. So coming to that point, clearly, I'm saying we are not talking about the demand for products, Ayurvedic products, but use of Ayurveda as a methodology or tool to evaluate animal health and disease. So how best we can use? Excuse me, sir. Let me complete the question. How can we promote Ayurveda methodology as a tool to evaluate animal health and disease?
I would say that even as a product, that Ayurveda has got an edge, and that is the economic edge.
Economic edge, yes.
Yes, and that has to be also taken into consideration. When we are talking of reaching a farmer, and farmer that who doesn't, because of we know the situations with respect to our farming populations, where the most of our animals are, they are landless people. And to them, when we reach them, that economic factor becomes anything which we can deliver over to a farmer as a part of relief, becomes a true relief to him, not only in terms of the disease to the animal or ailment of an animal, but it also becomes relief as an economic index to the farmer who owns this animal.
Definitely.
There is a big economic indexing of this, and that's where that we have to pin ourselves,
Pin
and that's
ourselves.
where we have to.
So
say.
maintaining the affordability issue that I highlighted earlier. But my question right now is that it's not about only promoting Ayurveda products, but use of Ayurveda science to evaluate animal health and diseases. How best we can promote this?
In fact, with respect to this Ayurvedic, as per Ayurvedic products is concerned, presently there is a slow therapeutic response in acute conditions. If you
Yes.
can improve that, efficacy part, quick response compared to, modern medicine. So I think we are into it.
Yes, yeah, that is definitely. But in terms of evaluation, can we use Ayurveda science to evaluate health and diseases?
Yes, we can evaluate.
Yeah,
We can compare along with
how
the
much
modern
progress
science.
we are making on this? Anybody
Yeah.
would like to highlight, and what should be our roadmap in this connection? We are not just promoting products, but using the science to evaluate animal health and diseases. Any panelists would like to add a comment on this?
My opinion, I'm Dr. Padhi. My opinion is that this should be integrated. Simply evaluation on Ayurvedic parameters is not enough. Because suppose you have a worm, so unless otherwise you test stool through a microscope, you cannot say yes, this particular worm is there infested by the animal. So we have to have an integrated protocol for evaluation, both Ayurvedic parameters as well as modern parameters.
Yes. But my point is saying that you are very rightly said that the integration is required. I'm saying all multidisciplinary approach is required in turn. But I see a quite good scope for using Ayurveda even to evaluate health condition of animals.
Yes, definitely,
Yes,
because
definitely.
the signs and symptoms of a particular disease are described in Pashu Ayurveda, and also the nature, habitat, the physiological and pathological condition of various types of animals are described in Ayurveda.
Right.
So evaluation can be made on Ayurvedic tools also.
Thank you. If I'm missing any of the panelists, please join in, because I'm not seeing your name out there because it's very difficult for me to point a question to you. But coming down, we have discussed this about the standardization earlier also. My next question is, how to ensure appropriate regulation of Pashu Ayurveda in veterinary practice. How to ensure regulations, because as we grow, as the market grows, as the practice grows, we need to be really concerned about protecting the rights of farmers and public in general, and we need to bring in some sort of regulation in terms of covering the entire gamut of production to use, to practice, and other aspects. What is your opinion on this? What should we do in the next few years to improve the regulation of Pashu Ayurveda?
I would like to say, I am Dr. Padhi. You know, in our Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940, the definition of drug is mentioned as all medicines for internal or external use of human beings or animals. It is clearly. And all these substances intended to be used for any diagnosis, treatment, mitigation, or prevention of any disease or disorder in human beings or animals. So the drug used in animals have been defined as drug in our act, and the act is the strongest regulatory provision in our country.
So then, you said that the regulation is already in place?
No, I'm not telling. Then Ayurveda has been recognized as a system of medicine. But as far as Pashu Ayurveda is concerned, you see, for human use, Government of India has an official document. One is Ayurvedic Formulary of India.
Yes,
they have enlisted hundreds of formulations which are in common use. Then another official document is Pharmacopoeia, API, Ayurvedic Pharmacopoeia of India. They are putting standards for various plants or plant parts, metals, minerals, extracts in different volumes are publishing. Till now, 10th volume has been published, including metals, minerals, extracts, and various dosage forms mentioned in Ayurveda. Recently, government, our Minister of Ayush has already published one volume of formulary on Pashu Ayurveda.
Yes, but that is a good progress.
Similar volumes will be likely to progress. Then, based on those formulary, what are the ingredients, they will be standardized. I think Dr. Nasser sir will throw more light. I think the plants for which already standards are there, because the plants are common for human use and animal use.
So you are saying that we have the base for bringing in the regulation.
Yes. But now some rule or notification may be there. That is why we insisted there should be one paper in BBSC. You know, in various court case decisions also, in allopathic versus Ayurveda, who will prescribe Ayurveda, should not prescribe allopathy, or allopathy should not prescribe Ayurveda. Supreme Court has held if you have read it, or if you are trained in a system, then you can practice it. You can prescribe it. So similarly, if veterinary doctors are reading a paper on ethno-veterinary practice or Pashu Ayurveda, then they are legally entitled to practice it.
Okay.
And
so my point of saying is that let us we have shortage of time. My point of saying is that we have a lot of things to do to bring in
definitely.
the regulation to protect the interest of farmers and public in general.
Public and manufacturers also.
Manufacturers
because
also,
has to refer the formulary or pharmacopoeia. They have to refer. So there is a lot of work to be done in future.
Yeah. So and again, do you see as a we have the World Organization of Animal Health as a standard setting organization. When we're talking about globalization, do you think a role for World Organization of Animal Health in terms of setting standards for alternative medicine as such?
You see, actually now most of the private sectors are doing very well, because this Indian Herbs Saharanpur and this Ayurveda of Dabur and Himalaya, they are laying standards of several plants and plant products, including extracts. It is already there, but they should be promoted more.
In fact, Dr. Madhan, my point was saying that we are talking about globalization of Ayurveda here. Do you think that we need a role to be played by World Organization of Animal Health in terms of setting standards for alternative medicine? I'm not talking about only Ayurveda, but for other branches of alternative medicine.
Yes.
Do you see a role for World Organization of Animal Health?
No, definitely. If you don't have any standard, then nobody is going to accept it globally.
Okay. Any panelists would like to add on this? Let's
I think
in this area, one has also to take into consideration that we have to focus ourselves to certain situations and certain conditions and certain ailments. Because even in allopathic, in all medicines, you must be seeing that there are certain types of what we call as focusing, targeting. So therefore, that in our when we are taking an Ayurveda, we should also target certain conditions. We should target certain situations, certain ailments, and say that for these ailments, that this is the one which experimentally has been proved, so that its popularity and its acceptance is increased. That is the strategy. Strategies for us to go forward.
Yeah, so definitely. So my point is, very specific. I'm saying we have seen that the World Health Organization is showing interest in alternative medicine now. Even in our webinars, also they have been participating. Do you see a need for World Animal Health Organization to have some sort of discussion on alternative medicine for use in animals? So that was my question. I hope anybody would like to add it. We have.
Yeah, I think definitely. See, from WHO has been developing systematic strategies and implementation frameworks for traditional medicine since the last 20 years. Why not World Animal Health Organization?
Yes.
We are in the period of 2014 to 2023 traditional medicine strategy from WHO.
Yes.
So I think there should be broad guidelines, broad strategies, and member states could follow that, because right now it's bilateral relations. Like we work with Ethiopian organization or Ugandan organization, but WHO can come into picture.
So am I saying that as a member state, India can push forward this within the World Organization of Animal Health also, and other states who feel the importance of alternative medicine as such. So let me go into the round 3 now, the final round. We are closing up now. It's always 7:56 now. We need to finish it up by 8 o'clock.
We have 4 more minutes.
Yes, 4 more minutes, sir. I am in time. Okay. Our chairman is very strict, so that's a good thing that we can finish up rightly. The last question is, modern scientific research is happening mostly in the industrial sector. Ayurvedic research is, as I have already mentioned. So how do you see the role of private sector in globalization of Pashu Ayurveda? Dr. Bhagwat must be in a very good position to give this answer. What is the role of private sector in promoting Pashu Ayurveda? You have to unmute yourself, sir.
Mainly we are focusing mainly on the science of Ayurveda.
Mhm.
So here again focus of science of Ayurveda means like we validate our products on I mean modern science way, including even we go up to even molecular level, even gene expression level also. In
Yes.
fact, to be frank with you, like starting from collection of herbs to the launch of the product, even herbal actives also. What we do, like even we went up to the stage that we went for a DNA barcoding of the herbal actives, whatever we use.
So, but my point was that do you see that as a roadmap, the government should support any specific way the private sector? Do you expect government assistance in any way as far as facilitation the role of private sector in globalization of Pashu Ayurveda?
Yes, yes, definitely. Government. I mean, we are working with the government also for that. Even we have done some of the what you call Ayurvedic manuals also. We are into
Yes.
herbal manuals. Even USFDA also we are working with them. In fact, as I mentioned, like about herbal actives, we have done DNA barcoding.
Yeah, my point is that is there any ease of doing business as far as Ayurveda is concerned? I mean, say if you want to do something on
Our government is committed in promoting
Yes.
Ayurveda and Ayurvedic medicines, and it is allocating funds specially to support, for example, startups which are interested in pursuing.
Yeah.
this
So
area.
maybe we need to see how best our companies who are playing the lead role in industrial research to be supported as a roadmap for globalization. I think another point I'll just quickly look into that. I think the focus should be new drugs or exploring the old drugs and prove the efficacy. What do you feel? I mean, say we need to target. Are we going into more into new drugs and then and neglecting the old very effective drugs? Anybody would like to add here? Or how to strengthen the supply chain of medicinal plants? I mean, say as we go into it, increased demand for Ayurveda, we need to really look into the supply chain of medicinal plants. So anything that you would like to add here? I hope I'm touching all the panelists here. Quick back, please don't mind if I'm not putting any direct questions to you. I think I have not heard about Professor Arun Kumar Das. Are you here?
Sir, network issues. He was in the remote area. He just called me that he is unable to join, sir.
Okay, so we have heard about views of Dr. Madan Mohan Pade, Professor Varadhan Ranganathan sir, Dr. Vishwanath Bhagavat sir, Dr. Daniel Teminson, and Professor Unikrishnan Piapalli. So my last ending question to you is, the supply chain of medicinal plants. Anything to be done on that line?
Yeah, I would like to say, you see, we have in Government of India, there is a provision of National Medicinal Plant Board. In all state level also, state medicinal plant boards are there to preserve the medicinal plants in natural habitat as well as to promote. And the contact farming is the best solution because there is a increasing demand in all the sector, herbal sector, for cosmetic, for medicine, for domestic purpose and for other uses. So according to demand, there should be supply. So contact farming with farmers are the best solution to get a desired quantity of plants.
And in fact, I think Dr. Bhagavat, would you like to add anything about replacing the critical herbs with new herbs in formulations?
In fact, yeah, we can go for that. In fact, some of the herbs are getting endangered or extinguishing herbs are there. We can go for replacement with alternate herbs. One thing. With respect to the supply chain is concerned, we should adopt a clear regulatory framework and sets of product norms and standards with respect to the supply chain. Again, the supply chain should build a capacity for certification standard.
Yes.
Third one is like the supply chain should promote sustainable natural resource and production practices.
Mhm.
These are the 3 points I would like to highlight with respect to supply chain.
Definitely. So let us have, I mean, say, after all, it's all about technologies that helps science to improve. And, so my last question, and that will end my moderation here. I will go to the Honorable Chairman, sir, for his comment. Is that, how to use new technologies in product development of Pashu Ayurveda to meet the global market demand. I mean, say, there's always a challenge. You cannot use certain technologies in Ayurveda because you have to maintain a particular process requirement in the entire chain. So how best we use new technologies in Ayurveda product development? Any new machineries that you think that which is used in modern medicine can also be used in development of product in Ayurveda? Anyone would like to take this question?
Sir?
Yes, Professor Ranganathan.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, new technologies can address many challenges in the procedures followed in the Ayurvedic drug development area. For example, it can be useful in standardization procedures, isolation of pure chemicals, elucidation of biological mechanisms, and carrying out the clinical trials also. So, right from the extraction procedures also, there are very many new technologies come, like supercritical fluid extraction is there nowadays. That we can use, that will give exact extraction.
So very well. So we have crossed eight, and before I am rebuked by our Honorable Chairman, I should stop now. But this boils down to his idea, Professor Madan's idea, that everything boils down to the capacity building. How we best do the capacity building of our researchers, the capacity building of our veterinarians, our industry and everything. That boils down to the entire roadmap. So many thanks to honorable panelists for this discussion. I really appreciate your participation. I hope I made it worth for this discussion. Thank you. I request Honorable Chairman, sir. It is a privilege for me to be a moderator under his guidance. Sir, please give your summary and concluding remarks, sir.
Moderation, excellent.
Thank you, sir.
Presentations good, and overall very good. That's as a summary I will like to submit. And I think that it has been nice of Bimal and the group that they have organized a group like this, people coming together and talking about these issues, which are of great importance to us for future in veterinary science. Because as I said it in an oblique fashion, that the delivery of veterinary science is very important. You see, today the importance is that wherever we feel lack of the profession is that we are not able to deliver the profession. And for the delivery, it is very important that we should be able to reach the patient. And to reaching the patient, that means an animal, that there is an economic factor which comes in between. And I think that, as has been said, that economic indexing and economic benefiting to the farmer becomes very important. Because of the importance of the animal, it may, and it does, spend a lot on its animals because he knows that it's an economic and index to him, economic identity to him. But then that if we want to have the progress in productivity, therefore we must be allowing this farmer to have the capacity to bear in terms of the treatment and the ailment. And in that direction, I think Ayurveda is going to do a good job. And thank you very much for associating me into this program. And thank you, Bimal, for organizing this program. Thank you all. Thanking all the panelists.
Thank you, sir. Over to Bimal.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Bimal, I take your leave now.
Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Namaste, sir. And it is just the beginning, and we will remain associated with you, sir. Not you will be associated with us because you are the treasure. So thank you all, sir, for giving support all time to us. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, our panelists. Thank you, our moderator.
Thank you.
So with this, we are closing up. Yeah, we are closing our panel session. Now I would like to invite our chief guest, our session chair, our patrons, and our other delegates for our valedictory session. So first, I would like to invite Dr. Jayaprakash Narayan sir, the managing trustee of World Ayurvedic Foundation and is the co-organizer of our session. He is a fourth generation Vaidya. To his credit, he has a dual degree of MBBS and Bachelor of Ayurveda. But he chose Ayurveda as his career because he is the fourth generation, because already 3 generations has been into Ayurveda. And his passion led to his both son and daughter to be the professor of Ayurveda, and they are continuing as a legacy of Ayurveda as 5th generation. So thank you, sir, for being the patron of today's session. So then I will invite our president, Dr. Chirantan Kadian, who is the president of our Indian Veterinary Association. He's working as a SDO at Haryana government, and he is also the member of our SARC Veterinary Association and is a counselor of Common Veterinary Association. He initiated this process of inclusion of Ayurveda in 2019. Welcome, sir. Now may I invite Professor Lakshmi Dei, madam. She is a professor of gynecology from Gujarat Ayurveda University, Jamnagar. Then I invite Professor MNB Nair, sir. He is a professor of TDU. He will assist us to translate our this Ayurveda Malayali language of first Ayurveda. And I invite Sri Brahmasri Nakeri Basudev Nambutri, the chairman of Sri Kesav Memorial, to address our Hasti Ayurveda. Now may I invite our special invitee, Dr. Anuj Sharma, sir, who is the country officer of World Health Organization, and he is the specialist in AMR, lab, and IPC. And now I invite Dr. Vijay Makhija, the president of INPA, Indian Federation of Animal Health Companies, who will address our gathering also. Then I will like to invite Professor B.B. Kuntia, sir, the principal of KETS Ayurveda College. He has published many papers of his international review. And on the Dhanteras, he has invited our veterinarians to address the veterinary Ayurveda during his seminar. So we are very much indebted to him, sir. I would invite our chief guest of today, Professor Vaidya P.K. Prajapati, sir. He is currently, he recently joined as a Vice Chancellor of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Rajanathan Ayurveda University, Jodhpur. Prior to that, he was working as a professor of Rasasastra at All India Institute of Ayurveda, New Delhi, with 24 years of experience. Then I would like to invite our chief speaker, Dr. Praveen Malik, who is our Animal Husbandry Commissioner and also the CEO of AgriVinnovate. I would also invite Dr. N. Panival, Professor of Pathology at Kanvas and also the editor of Indian Veterinary Journal. So welcome all, sir. Thank you. So let me invite first our patron, Dr. Jayaprakash Narayan, sir. Sir, please. So I will request all our delegates, our chief guest and our guest of honor to rest their seat to 5 minutes only. Thank you, sir.
Namaskar, sir. Good evening, everybody. In fact, it gives me immense pleasure to participate in this valedictory function. I congratulate everybody who have participated in the panel discussions and all the brainstorming sessions that you had during all this the 1 week. And really, I'm sure that it will give us a lot of knowledge about the taking the Pashu Ayurveda into the future. As there are many speakers today, let me just start with what One Health that we have speaking about now. It's a thought that which acknowledges that the health of human beings is closely linked to the health of all the living beings and shared environment also. This idea is not new now, because in fact it happens back to the ancient times when Acharya Charaka not only recognized the phenomena of Loka Samhita Purava, the universe, as the man continuum, and that has been already stated, and many people have mentioned about that. And even the World Health Organization also defines One Health as an approach to designing and implementing the programs, policies, legislation, and research in which multiple sectors communicate and work together to achieve better public health outcomes. The One Health approach is critical to addressing the health threats in animal, human, and environment interface also. So now with the 9th edition of the World Ayurveda Congress, it has this very important overarching theme, Ayurveda for One Health, to provide a collaborative, multi-sectoral and transdisciplinary forum working at the local, regional, national and global levels to address the health issues spanning the entire spectrum of humans, animals, plants, and their shared environment. In fact, I was also very impressed about the discussion that you had now. Some discussion was also there about the evidence. If I have few minutes, let me just talk about the evidences that are available.
Yes, sir.
When I was the chairman of the Scientific Advisory Committee of the Central Council of Research, such issues used to be discussed from the modern scientists, and they used to come and ask us as to what evidence that you have in Ayurveda to prove that a particular medicine is useful in a particular condition. How do you diagnose the disease and all? And after a lot of discussions, I used to tell them, you see, even in modern medicine and the pharmacology that has been mentioned, is some of the evidences are hypothetical. It is not 100% clear. So even such hypothesis we will not see even in a single formulation of Ayurveda. The very evidence is that the Ayurveda is a part of the Atharva Veda, which has been mentioned, say, according to the various details that we get. It is 3,000 years or 4,000 years or whatever it is. And the formulation that has been mentioned that day, and the diagnosis, that the way of diagnosis that is mentioned, even today, the same diagnosis can be made and the same products which were mentioned then, the same herbs are useful even today also. Do we need more evidence than this? Well, if at all we want to consider that and approve that, we can utilize the modern equipments and the modern science and the modern way of getting the evidence of that, and perhaps that will go a long way. Maybe that we have the international conclave on the Pashu Ayurveda, by which time perhaps we can discuss about that in detail. So with this, I congratulate everyone who have participated, and I welcome you all for the Ayurveda for One Health, the 9th World Ayurveda Congress. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for the support for collaborating with Indian Veterinary Association and SARC Veterinary Association, and we look forward to work with you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now may I invite our President, Dr. Chirantan Kadian, sir, to address our gathering, sir.
Respected Dr. Jai Prakash Narayan, Dr. Madan, and everybody associated with this mega event organized by our vibrant IVA youth leader, Dr. Bimal. Ayurveda is one science where we do not have to prove to anybody. It is much more age-old science than even allopathy, and everybody knows the harmful effects of allopathy medicines. I myself is diabetic, had bypass surgery, had renal complications. All these are results of what allopathic medicine does to a human body. Regarding veterinary Ayurveda, after my 35-year-long experience as a veterinarian, I have to submit that wherever we have used quality Ayurveda products, we always had the best results. And there is nothing wrong if we inculcate the science of veterinary Ayurveda, or rather Ayurveda with modern or so-called allopathic medicines. These are far cheaper, non-toxic, AMR, antimicrobial resistance almost nil, and the least harmful to the body. NDDB, EDU had taken a very big step, and I think mastitis, we have got fantastic results using Melonex and other big range antibiotics has resulted in almost complete loss of milk production and carrier mastitis cases. So the initiative we started in 2019 with WVA, with the government of India. Now they have recognized these things. The more emphasis which I want to stress upon is cultivation of medicinal plants on a large scale with organic farming, with natural farming, because till you have got a very strong herbal base, you cannot promote Ayurveda. The quality products, even some companies have taken an initiative. Dabur Ayurveda is one. Mohanji has taken a good initiative, but I tried with them, but the lower rung staff is not that enthusiastic with this mission. The big four companies, Dabur, Indian Herbs, rather Indian Herbs is the mother of everybody, Natural Remedies, Himalaya. I implore them to go for big cultivation of medicinal plants so as to promote veterinary Ayurveda, and especially with the gaushalas of the state who have got land holdings. That would make the gaushalas economically viable, and the organic inputs of cow urine and cow dung are easily available with the gaushalas. And even I have practically used some products, even agricultural Ayurveda, if you call it, Jivamrit, Gand Jivamrit, they bear excellent results. I again thank Dr. Bimal, WAF, and IVA is what these youngsters are, for this initiative, and all the dignitaries who acted and who delivered their very intellectual addresses throughout the week. Indian Veterinary Association is highly indebted to all of you. Jai Hind. And Dr. Bimal, I am no more an STO. I retired as a deputy director, and that too secretary Go Seva Ayog. So no more innings of government sector.
Sir, you have one more day, sir.
I am mentally retired today.
Yeah, on your, sir is going to retire tomorrow, so it's opportunity. He will be a free man, and he will dedicate ourselves. And he is also the chairman of the Gosala Ayog of Haryana, and he is also in the task force of Gosala all over the India. So we can take it the issue. In fact, government of India is providing subsidy in cultivating, medicinal plants also. As sir has rightly told, as agriculture Ayurveda. Yesterday, one engineer guy, he actually was representing the Vriksha Ayurveda, because in Ayurveda there's three parts: and human, one Pasu Ayurveda, another is the Vriksha Ayurveda. So definitely this Papala jal, that fermented gel they are using in I think Vriksha Ayurveda. I think Jai Kishan sir also can throw more light. So with this, I will thank you, Kadian sir. I think you're under your able guideship. We will definitely see a new horizon. So now may I invite Professor Dr. Santona Pillai, Assistant Professor in OUT Department of Pharmacology, to give the rapporteur address of the 7 days workshop. Dr. Pillai, please.
Thank you, Dr. Bimal. Am I audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I am here for the rapporteur address. Respected Chairperson, Dr. Chirantan Kandian, Patron, Dr. Jayaprakash Narayanan, Chief Guest, Dr. Praveen Malik, Special Invitee, Dr. Anuj Sharma, Chief Speaker, Professor Vaidya, P.K. Prajapati, guests and participants. We started our online international workshop on 23rd October 2022 on National Ayurveda Day. We celebrated World Veterinary Ayurveda Day. Delegates from India and abroad belonging to Ayurveda, veterinary, pharmacy sector addressed the gathering. On 25th October, Dr. P. Bambang, Professor of Veterinary Pathology from Indonesia, addressed the biochemical assay of herbs in control of avian influenza. Ms. Shruti Rastogi, scientist from Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, addressed the inclusion of herbs with phytochemical analysis in Indian Pharmacopoeia. On 26th October, Dr. Theresa Rosenberg described the way she is treating horses in Germany in an Ayurvedic way. Dr. Catherine from Netherlands described ethno-veterinary practice in Netherlands, Ethiopia, and Uganda. On 27th October, Dr. Juliet described the holistic modality she approaches for treatment of pet animals. Professor M.N.B. Nayak from TTU described the evidence-based scientific approach to treat mastitis. On 28th October, Dr. Suresh Kadnani, CCRAS, described his research at CCRAS for documentation of ancient literature on Pasu Ayurveda and collaboration with Cadwason. Dr. Prasad Nagpure from Indian Herbs Company narrated the journey of Indian herbs to the global level. On 29th October, Dr. Engineer Ravi Singh Chaudhary described about the Vriksha Ayurveda and its importance in integrated farming. Dr. S. Kumar illustrated the basic principles of Ayurveda and treatment of bovine mastitis in an Ayurvedic way. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bimal. Over to you.
Thank you, Professor Santana, to giving the rapporteur address. Next, may I invite Professor Lakshmi Dei, Madam. Professor Lakshmi Dei, Madam, is from Gujarat Ayurveda University. She, Madam, are you there? Madam, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, namaste.
Namaste, ma'am.
So, good evening to everybody. Respected the galaxy of the veterinary and the Ayurvedic veterans presence in this online webinar and in this valedictory session. So, really, it is my immense pleasure and a great honor that to be here among such a august gathering and to gain some knowledge also, extra knowledge about this veterinary Ayurveda for the globalization. Really, what Manoj Nesari sir told that about the prakriti of the animals. So in Ayurveda, it has been mentioned that save the elephants from kapha and save the horses from pitta and save the human being from the vata. So from it we getting the knowledge that the Bathic disorders are more, and we know in Ayurveda that 80 types of Bathic disorders it is occurring and affecting the human being, and 40 types of the Bathic disorder and 20 types of the Kaphas disorder. So if you see the elephants, they have the 20 types of the diseases, that is the Kaphas, Prakriti, and we can know that is the horse, it is the Pitta Prakriti mainly, and the human being, it is the more Vati Prakriti we are getting. So in this, so this is the dosic predominance among the animals, what the Ayurveda has been mentioned. And among this, the Ashtanga Ayurveda, there is some other branches also, like 3 branches like Brukhya Ayurveda, Prasu Ayurveda, and the for the human being. But it has some correlation with Brukhya Ayurveda, Pasu Ayurveda, and to treat the human being. So I think that's why if we see the Basti therapy, its history, then it has been mentioned that when in battlefield the horses are used, and when they are tired in this time, they are giving this the sugar water, that is the for the Basti, so that they are getting the immediate, they are getting the energy, and they become the empowered, but to again to go to the battlefield. So you will see that is the from very beginning, that is the even starting from the Vedic time to nowadays also, but we forget it, and then now we are giving the other therapies. But this was the given first, the Basti therapy, it has been given to the horses to they are reviving their energy. So this is the Pasu Ayurveda. And if we see that is the all the products like the Mutra Varga, it is the urine therapy which is mentioned. That is the various the types of the animals urine. It has the medicated, and it is the nowadays now it is the Gomutra and the Gomutra Arka. It is the Go Ayurveda. It is developing, and in our Jamnagar, that is the Jani sir. He is doing very good research work, and the Panchagabya Ghuta in cancer is also using, and in Ayurveda there is also milk. So there is the Dugdha Varga or Khira Varga is mentioned. So the animal milk, various animals having the milk, it has the its quality is different, and it is the medicated value is different, which is utilized in different diseases. And the best milk is the cow milk, which has been mentioned, and it is the rejuvenation and the rasayan therapy, the best rasayan, and which can be used from the birth to the death. So that's why this is the veterinary is required nowadays. And then once again, that is the goat milk. It is also very useful for the tuberculosis case, and the dhatu khaya, that is the malnutrition case also. And it is again the goat meat also. It is been mentioned, that is the mansa varga, which is the various types of these animals having the medicated value of the meat, and which meat is indicated, which meat is indicated, and in which season also it has been mentioned. So that's why there is need of the veterinary, Ayurvedic veterinary in this era also. And once again, if we see that is the 4 types of sneha, or this fat is used in Ayurveda, like Ghruta Talya, Basamajja. So among 3 are from the animal product which is using. So animal product is maximum using in Ayurvedic therapy. So how Ayurveda can help in veterinary practice in globalized? So I am a person of the gynec related, that is Prastantra Stri Roga. So I have selected some areas that which you can implement the Ayurvedic therapy, like to increase the milk production in case of the this dairy farm also, and in the goat also we can cow and a goat. That is what we are using to increase the milk in this case of the human being. In that drug also, that plant like Satavari, then Truna Panchamula, Vidari Kanda, we can also give to the this the dairy farm, so that it will be increase the milk of the cow. Unnecessarily we are using the hormone and this oxytocin injections also that is giving, which is harmful not only to the this it is the decreasing the quality, but also it is harmful for the cow also. Then for the easy delivery also, that we can give the erand taila or the castor oil, and the dasamula path also we can give in form of the this diet also, we can add it, or we can give in form of the basti also. And then this apamarga we can also give. So I have already told you that about the basti therapy, how it has been used previously, so we can revive it and revalidate it. So it can be evidence-based research, and also various type of decoctions we can give in form of basti to the for the prevention of the diseases to the animals and a cure. So some plants, like in case of the fever, like this Ganga Sivali, what we are telling, and Guduchi, then the Sudarsana, to prevent the infection, we can use the Nimba, Khadira, Guduchi. And to increase the fertility also, we can give the flower of the Asoka flowers. We can give the as a diet to the as a diet to the animals. Then in various cases, that if when we are seeing that is the in condition where the artificial insemination is the failure, in that case, that is the Jivanti, Satavari, like these drugs, not only it increase the milk, but also it reduces the abortions, and it also helpful for the early conception of the animals. So lastly, I am thankful to Dr. Bimal and his team that to inviting me as a guest of honor in such a august audience. So thank you all to giving me chance to share my thoughts. Namaste.
Thank you, madam. In fact, in veterinary science, gynecology is the part which requires much attention, because it is the thing we cannot open it. You have to treat it from outside only. Though we have developed some endoscopic pre-cervical scope, but it is not available everywhere, at remote area. So, we need this type of knowledge. I think our professor, Dr. Jagesini Mer is there. I think she has written a paper with you, and she will take more further guidance from you, on how to improve on this. Thank you, madam. Now may I invite Professor MNB Nair, sir, and Sri Brahmasri Nakiri Basudevam Nambutri, who can speak about our Gaja Ayurveda. Nair, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Bimal and Dr. Jayapal Narayan, sir, and Praveen Malik, sir, and all other dignitaries. Before I introduce our Nekai Vasudevan Namburi, I just wanted to tell you today there were a lot of people who are thinking that whether this Ayurveda based one is having any evidence. I just have 3 days before one talk where I have shown that for mastitis, we had to do a sort of what is that called, transdisciplinary understanding. One is you use Ayurveda for assessing EVP, means most of the Pashu Ayurveda thing is not practiced now except for the elephant, where I am going to introduce the Brahmasri Nakai Vasudevan Nambudiri sir. Otherwise, what we started doing the revival is about to ethnoveterinary, the folk part of the Ayurveda. The combination which we are using, we used around 1,80,000 animals, including the NDDB. We got 84.9% efficacy. And I also did some work on, as a preliminary work on microbiome study, where it shows that all the microbe which is causing mastitis reduced to minimum. I had to do a detailed study on that. So evidence is there. You have to do it transdisciplinary understanding, because all the evidence we cannot take it from the Western science. We have to take evidence on the modern science. I don't know whether the Dambari sir is there, or I can on his video. I will introduce what what he has sent to me in Malayalam. He's there already. Yeah, he is there already. Namaste. Okay. I just his speech in Malayalam I have translated in English, and I'm going to talk to you. He says that I sincerely thank the Indian Veterinary Association for awarding me the appreciation letter. My association with the elephant and other domestic animals since my childhood, I was able to understand the practical Asti Adi Ayurveda from my gurus. Later, I have started treating my elephant, his own elephant, which he has purchased, and the other imported elephant and pets. Indian veterinary medicine is known as for its specialized literature, which provide information on ancient method of preventing and treating diseases of animals. Gajasastra lays more stress on the healthy aspect of elephant, whereas Hastadi Ayurveda deals with the anatomy and physiology of elephant diseases and their treatment in detail. Muni Palakapia wrote Hasti Ayurveda covering all aspects of elephant medicine, and this book has 4 sections and 152 chapters, including anatomy of elephant. An elaborate explanation of Ayurveda technique has been given in Hasti Ayurveda and Hasti Ayurveda, Elephant Ayurveda, by a sage Palakapia, 5th century BC. They can imagine how old it was, but then they had such a good understanding on this one. It is recorded that Nagula Samhita, that these traditional veterinary medicine were used during the era of Mahabharata. It was possible to start Hasti Ayurveda. What he is now doing is very, very commendable. He was possible to start a Hasti Ayurveda treatment classes from 2017 as a diploma in his trust called GTNG Trust, and get a certificate for completing 2 batches, and started the 3rd one on 16/9/2027. This is jointly done with TDU. TDU will be issuing the certificate for that. We also go there and take classes. They also come to our place to have the practicals. I wish to start a what he wanted to do in future is that I wish to start a super specialty Ayurveda elephant treatment center for the postgraduate course on Hastadi Ayurveda, MD, MS, and Hastadi Ayurveda, Sanskrit, Malayalam, and MA courses, imparting detailed practical knowledge to the students who want to study Ayurveda. Now I had started a Sri Keshava Memorial Hasti Ayurveda Gaja Animal Consultant Center, and work is progressing well. In this context, I also like to state that so many elephants and other animals would not have been died in Kerala if Ayurveda veterinary and conventional veterinary treatment were done in collaboration. That's what he says as his last comment. What I know him personally, because I used to go there and take classes for these students. Mostly, his family is the only one who is using classical Ayurvedic understanding for treating elephant. One other person was died in 2020. Now he is the person who is responsible for treating the elephant using the classical Ayurvedic text. They are very, very well versed in many of these texts where they can treat the students. So I welcome him for this particular program, and I thank Dr. Bimal for inviting him for also this program. Thanks a lot for inviting us and be part of this particular program. And then we had a discussion. I understand that we are going to give him an appreciation letter for the work which he is doing. Okay.
Yes,
thanks a lot.
Yeah, in Goa we have designed a certificate, and in Goa we will give it to you. If he is coming, then we can give it to him also, or else you can hand over to him also. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you, sir, for taking the pain to bring the new knowledge. It's an eye opening for the youngsters like us, what we have forgotten our old people. Thank you, sir. Now,
Thank
may I invite our special invitee, Dr. Anuj Sharma, sir. Dr. Sharma, sir, is a MBBS doctor, and currently he is working as a country officer of World Health Organization, India. He is an expertise on AMR, lab, and IPC. I will request Dr. Sharma, sir, to speak about our AMR and its challenges and how this, a natural way of treatment for animals and human will help us in future. Sir, please.
Namaskar and good evening. A very good evening to all the dignitaries. Thank you, Dr. Bimal, for inviting me, and warm greetings from the WHO Country Office for India. As all of you are aware, the foundation stone for WHO's Global Center for Traditional Medicine was laid by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus in Jamnagar, Gujarat on 19th April 2022. On this occasion, the WHO Director General hoped that the new center will optimize the use of traditional medicines through focus on data innovation and sustainability. And through this center, India will be able to take its knowledge of traditional medicine to the world, and similarly, the world will come to India. Ayurveda or Ayush has a role not only in providing healthcare to humans and animals, but also in developing alternatives to antimicrobials for both human and the veterinary sectors. Antimicrobial resistance is a silent pandemic, and this is a complex, multidimensional, multi-sectoral challenge which requires a One Health collaborative approach that brings together multiple sectors for designing and implementation of programs, policies, and legislation to improve public health outcomes. AMR containment is a WHO priority, and WHO identified AMR as one of the top 10 public health threats in 2019 and an urgent health challenge for the next decade in 2020. AMR is a flagship priority of the WHO Regional Office for Southeast Asia and a key focus area of the WHO India Country Cooperation Strategy 2019 to 2023. WHO works closely with the other quadripartite organizations to tackle AMR, including the Food and the Agriculture Organization, the World Organization for Animal Health, and the United Nations Environment Program. And together as the quadripartite is the Secretariat for the Global Leaders Group on AMR as well. The G20 also identifies AMR as a key priority, and there have been numerous declarations by the health and the agriculture ministers of the G20 for AMR containment. The Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying in India took the lead in developing the revised version of the National Action Plan on AMR 2.0 under the leadership of Dr. Praveen Malik. They were the first to come out with the animal health sort of component of the NAP AMR. And since then, the human health and the research meetings have been organized. And in the research meeting, we also had participants from the Ministry of Ayush. Now, since AMR is a multi-sectoral problem, all sectors that are important for AMR containment have a state responsibility under the Indian Constitution. These include Human Health Department, Animal Health, Agriculture, Aquaculture, and Water and Sanitation, which are surrogate for the environment, which are on the state list under the Indian Constitution. Food is on the concurrent list, and there also state has a responsibility. Therefore, state action plans are very important, and Ayush department at the state level should be engaged for the state action plans on AMR. There are already 4 state action plans which have been developed, and we look forward to all the states and union territories developing their state action plans, including the Department of Ayush, as well as all the other departments and sectors at the state level. So thank you very much once again for inviting me, and look forward to all of your support for AMR containment in India. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Speaking from the WHO, we all were looking what are the criteria there. So you rightly clarified all the doubts. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Bimal, 1 minute, I'll tell him that I have told the thing in English. തിരുമേനി ഞാൻ മലയാളത്തിലുള്ളത് ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് താങ്കൾ ചെയ്ത് പറഞ്ഞായിരുന്നു കേട്ടോ. തിരുമേനിയുടെ ഇത് ഞാൻ ഓൾറെഡി ചെയ്തു. പിന്നെ അവിടെ ഗോവ വെച്ച് സർട്ടിഫിക്കറ്റ് തരുമെന്നാണ് കേട്ടോ. സമയം കുറവായ 5 മിനിറ്റ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ മലയാളത്തിലുള്ളതെല്ലാം ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലേക്ക് ആക്കിയത് ഞാൻ പ്രസന്റ് ചെയ്തു എല്ലാവരുടെയും മുമ്പ്.
ഒന്നും പറയാനല്ലോ.
സാറിന് വല്ലതും പറയാണ്ട് ഒരു താങ്ക്സ് വല്ലതും പറയാം.
ഞാൻ പറയാം. ആയുർവേദം തന്നെ ഒരു സബ്ജക്റ്റ് എവിടെയും ഇല്ലാത്ത ഞാനായിട്ട് തുടങ്ങി വെച്ചത്. അതിന്നിപ്പോ ആനയുടെ കാര്യം മാത്രം എവിടെയും പറയുന്നില്ല. ആനയ്ക്ക് വളരെയധികം
അല്ല തിരുവേണി ഞാനത് പറഞ്ഞിരുന്നു. അത് തിരുവേണി ഞാൻ അങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞു എന്നൊന്ന് പറയാൻ വേണ്ടി ഞാൻ വിളിച്ചത്. ഓക്കെ, ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു. താങ്ക് യു. താങ്ക് യു ബിമൽ.
നമസ്തേ.
Okay, thank you, Bimal.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Now may I invite Dr. Vijay Makhija, sir, President of Indian Federation of Animal Health Companies, INFA, to address our gathering, sir.
Yeah. So first of all, namaste to each and everybody, to the respected Dr. Praveen Malik, the chairperson of IVA, Dr. Kardian, and all the distinguished eminent speakers and the subject matter expert. And thank you, Dr. Bimal, for giving us this opportunity to share few words. So since my name is not visible, so for the introduction for the rest of the members, so my name is Dr. Vijay Makhija. So I am the current president of Indian Federation of Animal Health Companies, popularly known as INFA. So we are a 52-member organization of the animal health companies in India, and perhaps we are one of the largest in the world as well. So these 52-member companies are our strength, and it's the unified voice of the animal health sector. So we represent close to 85% of the animal health sector, and very proud to share that we have envisioned the role of Ayurveda long back, and we have a dedicated subcommittee of Ayurveda where the distinguished members are the spearheading the focus of the Ayurveda in veterinary healthcare. So I will later post the link of our website and the dedicated members who are working in the Ayurveda subcommittee. So a very interesting deliberation throughout the panel discussions, and a few thoughts just I like to share with the participant is that our motto of INFA is to ensure healthy animals and healthier India. So the healthy animals can be ensured only by focusing on the holistic health or comprehensive health. And over a period of last few decades, we have seen a transformation of the animal health sector. From a treatment approach, we are going towards the prophylaxis, we are going towards the state-of-the-art diagnostic facilities so that we can detect the diseases in advance, so that our approach to cure them is very precise. So there is a shift towards the prevention, and I think Ayurveda has a big role to play in this our approach. So a couple of appeal which I like to make from this platform is that how we can collectively work together to enhance the access of the veterinary Ayurveda to the nook and corner of the country. So all our member companies have got a team across the country, and they have a reaching out to the veterinarians, they have a reach to the farmers. So there are two kind of sectors which we wish to target. One is the food producing animals, and one is the companion animals. So the Ayurveda has to be dedicated based on the species, based on the focused approach for the dairy, poultry, aquaculture, and in the companion animals like the dog, cats, and equines. So a dedicated focus on the species-wise approach should be there. So in INFA also we have a dedicated subcommittee on aquaculture, dedicated subcommittee on the companion animals, which we recently included. So we like to see that how the access of the veterinary Ayurveda products is made to by species and a very focused approach. We have the theme of this event is about globalization of veterinary Ayurveda. So I'll appeal to all the stakeholders that how Indian animal healthcare companies can be given the platform for a global and regional outreach. So I must compliment the Department of Animal Husbandry. They have been inviting INFA for the representations of these delegates to the different international forum. However, more is required support from the government of India to allow us and Indian animal healthcare companies to exhibit their booth in say, let's say trade shows, or with the help of the Department of Exports, how we can get more access of Indian animal healthcare products, not only in the region, but across the region as well, in the likes of Europe, US, and Middle East and other African countries. So enhancing the access through government channels can be one, and we will be more than happy to collaborate. And we have a dedicated subcommittee on import and exports, which can facilitate this particular dialogue. One area I like to touch upon is about attracting the talent. So it's very much important that this particularly is a very specialized field. So we need to have a talent pool available for this sector. So we have a HR subcommittee in our info group, which we can collaborate together to attract the right talent for this particular sector. And lastly, I'll appeal to the government departments and all the stakeholders of the academia. So each and every institution has got a research council. With this research council gives a direction, gives a you can say policy making for the research to be taken. So if you include members from INFA, which is the industry body, the research would be having a more angle of application and more applied angle. And Professor Madan said a very right thing, that the delivery of Ayurveda healthcare is the most important thing. And for the delivery, we require the right economics for the farmer, because everything at the end of the day comes to the economy of the scale. So if INFA and its member companies are invited for those research council meetings or inducted into research council, I think that would be a good collaborative effort where industry can share what are the areas of focus which can be applied research. So these are my few thoughts, and once again, compliment to all who are the part of this organization, this wonderful event. And once again, INFA's motto stands for healthy animals and healthier India. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. In fact, Health for Animals is the global organization to whom actually INFA is affiliated, and it is the only organization from India. So thank you, sir, for giving the industry insights, and we are really indebted to you to giving the support hand for further research. Thank you, sir. Now may I invite Professor B.V. Kuntia, sir, Principal of CATS Ayurveda College. B.V. Kuntia, sir. Sir, are you there? Okay. I think he's struggling to log in. Next, may I invite Dr. Rahul Srivastava. Dr. Rahul Srivastava is working currently at WOAH, World Organization for Animal Health at Paris. He has worked, he has established and worked with One Health concept in India. And regarding, he has expertise on public-private partnership. And can you just throw some light, how this public-private partnership can be done at global level or at national level to, to make our Indian traditional knowledge to reach at the global level? Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Bimal, and thank you for providing this opportunity. And as I said, I'm traveling, so my video may be a bit disturbing. So pardon me for that. And it's really good to be part of this interesting discussion. And as I say, World Organization for Animal Health is working for animal health and welfare worldwide. And basically, I'm taking care of public and private partnerships for ensuring animal health and welfare. And in that, if I'm looking at Ayurveda, as Dr. Makhija was telling, very good thing. And I think we need to collaborate among ourselves to share our core competencies. It's not about only research. It's not only about traditional knowledge. It's not only about making products available for market. We have to collaborate each other. And as Dr. Anu Sharma was telling about AMR, so how to deal with the present problem as well as future challenges with this kind of collaboration. So I think it will be really good to have this kind of understanding among ourselves so that we can come forward, collaborate together and work towards good Ayurvedic products. And when we are saying from global platform, like India is a kind of hub for it's a kind of hub for we say like a word for Besi, but at the same time we also need to ensure, like when you are going to a global level, you need to meet all the expectations of different standards. And Dr. Makhija may be well aware about all these things, like regulatory requirements of products and its quality at a standard level. We all need to look into that, because when we are going for global market, it has to match that kind of quality parameters and everything. So I think it will be good to collaborate among each other and to further proceed to deal with present as well as future challenges. So Dr. Bimal, I'll share some of the details with you, but it's really difficult for me to continue with this. Please excuse me for this.
Thank you. I understood you are traveling abroad. Still, you have joined with our request, and you have always contributed to us, technically and also academically. Thank you, sir. So without any further delay, now I would like to invite our chief guest, Professor Vaidya P.K. Prajapati sir, the Vice Chancellor, the newly recruited Vice Chancellor of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, Rajasthan Ayurveda University, Jodhpur. Sir, please. Namaste, sir.
Good evening to all of you. A number of persons told so many things, and Jayaprakash ji is there. Namaskar, sir. Nair, sir. Namaskar, sir. I know personally some of them. So it is a very good platform to say, and I have listening since evening. A lot of panel discussion is going on. Likewise in Ayurveda, in our Ayurveda also is the same situation is there. So everywhere it is the quality control parameters, quality drugs in Ayurveda is the main concern as per the discussion. There are so many things is going on parallelly, because since now we are dealing with the mankind, so don't know many things about our veterinary science. Though we are traditionally using so many things in our daily routine life for our cattle, like cow, dog, cat, goat, and hen also. These are the fisheries. Now fisheries are also there. So looking that, it's my pleasure to declare here that the veterinary formulary, Ayurvedic formulary for veterinary sciences is now released from the PCIMH. So it is a government publication. There are 50 formulations from the different books which are available in the form of Hasta Ayurveda, Assu Ayurveda, and 2 books written in Hindi also. So these formulations are available now. Now it is our duty to validate these formulations in scientific background. Means evidence-based scientific background is needed. And listening so many persons, because I am surprised to know that the persons are engaged so many dimensions, and WHO also taking the lead. And it is the need of the global scenario that this product should be popularized, and they are having some faith on the basis of their uses. Today I have searched the Himalaya Wellness, and a lot of products are there. There are so many companies are producing so many products. I have listening since my student life, but not seeing practically. But now I have thinking that it is a very good approach for the veterinary sciences that these drugs should be used frequently. Though it needed some, as in Ayurveda also, we have also searching for the new dosage form, because these generally medicines are used in the form of oral medicines or through Vasti or enema. Sometimes by Karn Punan, sometimes by nasal. So these type of the applications are there. Mode of administration is there. But nowadays, it is needed a new drug development dosage form so that it can be used easily. Just for the milk production, they have come and give the injection. No doubt, it is a molecule and it gives the results as in human being, as in animal products. So as a whole, for the environmental maintenance, not for the animals only. I suppose that I am the super animal because we are also developing 2-leg animal. No, otherwise are 4-leg animal. So we can convert our knowledge to others in the form of language, in the form of wisdom. So we are super one. Those we need that animal, that plant animal kingdom, everything is we needed for the environment, for the balance of the environment. Otherwise, we have suffered a lot during whole. If we studies from the background, then we found that there is an imbalance, then nature will balance it. Every time nature will balance it by any means, by the evolution. So it is the high time to balance between the environment and animal and mankind. So it is the high time to need, and certainly, if you permit me, they will share the slides.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are the co-host, sir. You can share your slides, sir.
So generally, I take only 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes only. So this is the title for this is the title for the today's. Just seeing that it is very much needed nowadays. So I have what is the importance of the Ayurveda? As we know, in the market there are so many products are available. Generally, these are non-natural products. Routinely, diets are used for the men and animals both. Habitat is the very much important because the American cows comes in India, they gives the milk in huge quantity, but whether the milk have the quality, our Indian cow have the good quality milk, and it is proven by the foreign scientists, not our scientists. So habitat is also a main agenda for this, region wise, season wise, and diet wise. They should be used, because otherwise it is very difficult to maintain the equilibrium. And in Ayurveda, it is said that samdosa, samagnisya, samdhatu, malakriya. Likewise in animals also. So, and it is very difficult to analyze the prakriti wise, because we have found so many species in the animals. So it is very difficult to analyze the prakriti wise. But symptomatically it is used. And we found the formulation on the basis of the symptomatically. If anyone come with some sort of a scientific background with the prakriti, vikriti, then it is very useful for all of us. So, and how? This is the formulary released on 23rd October on Ayurveda Day. The Ayurvedic Formulary of India, Part 4, Veterinary, first edition. Now it is legalized because it is published by the PCIMS. So it comes under the regulation. So formulation can be used on the basis of this. Manufacturers can prepare, and the drug licensing of the state can provide the license on this basis. So because we are going on to first schedule of book of the revision of the first schedule of book under the Ayush Ministry. So it is included. It may be included within few months. There is no problem. So you can go ahead. What is the scope of healthcare? Ayush system extended not only the human but also the animal, birds, plants. हम लोगों ने सबने सुना है. It is known as a Vraksh Ayurveda. Gau Ayurveda, Hast Ayurveda, Asu Ayurveda, Khag Ayurveda. So it described in our literature. And there are so many literatures are available. I am listening during the panel discussion. These books should be properly analyzed and published by any published house. It should be taken by the government agency, so then it is more beneficial for us, because generally it is not available. During the searching of the books of the veterinary, we found only 4 books, 2 in Sanskrit and 2 in Hindi written. So on the basis of the 4 books, we have prepared this formulary, and government has published and taken the lead. So this can be used because it comes under the Drug and Cosmetic Act, provide the regulatory basis for the licensing of the manufacturing for veterinary Ayurveda drugs, included therein the papers of the way forwarded for the statutory framework for the education and practice of the veterinary Ayurveda. So government has taken this care. So we researcher can do something on this particular aspect. The FI part 1, which are certainly open new avenues to the practitioners, manufacturers, researchers, academicians, and enthusiasts, Ayurvedic, veterinary, and ethnomedicine. So what we can do? Innovation in technology and innovative research, exploration of the basic principles of the Ayurveda, as some experts give the guideline on this particular issue. So systemic documentation of the safety and consumption, publication of the findings in scientific journals, it is very much required. Generation of the databases of uses of some herbal mineral preparations are also there. So that's also this database is required. Adaptation of the global and local regulatory norms like WHO, GMP, GCP, GLP, etc. So it's our heritage. Let's support it for better understanding. And this is the platform where we can say that it can be happened in very recent era. So thank you. And these are my remarks, but especially on this particular issue. And I am very thankful to Dr. Bimal, because I know initially I don't know many things about this issue, but now I find that it is a very good platform to say something and to do something in the favor of the animal kind, because they are the part of our life. The dogs in the house, cats in the house, so it is a part of the life. So we care, because during this pandemic, after the COVID condition, Humpy virus, a lot of the condition of the Gausala is very bad. So I think we also think on that particular issue, the cleanliness. Some person told that the farming of the herbal drugs along with the cow Gosala, it is required, very much required. Otherwise, very difficult. And sometimes we found that then when the cows are left alone, then they will survive. They have survived. There is no problem. They maintain the immunity. But when they are in group, then many of them deaths increases in the animal house, because we have lived in the Delhi, and nearby the Mathura is there, Rajasthan is there. There are so many deaths of the cows are there in the Gosala. And I have also visited the Gosala personally, private and government both. But the hygiene of it is a very difficult to say anything as a person. So because in past days, generally we in our houses we have taken the cow as a pavitra pasu, and we worship to cow. So hygiene is very much important for there. So my request is that at this platform, the hygiene as for the human being is required. So for the cattle, for any animals, it is required. So focus on that particular issue, and no doubt, just like because WHO is taking for the animal, for the plant, for the mankind. So our duty is to enrich the data, enrich the scientific data to protect our wisdom. So it is a very needed nowadays. So thank you, Dr. Bimal, for approaching me, and also thank you to Jayaprakash ji. After a long time, I have seen you. Thank you, sir. Anuj Sharma ji, very much needed things have explained. Nair sir, thank you, sir. Thank you. So thank you, Bimal ji. From my side, Lakshmi Priya ji is also giving so much inputs on particularly on the gynecology basis. They have chosen the Garbhani Paricharya wala drugs. So it will help us. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We are very happy that you have released that Indian Pharmacopoeia on veterinary. I think we have chosen the right day. As this year we have chosen is the first World Veterinary Ayurveda Day. So the logic is there. So I think in 8 to 9 countries to celebrate it along with Europe and America also. So thank you, sir. And also congratulations you, because I met you as a professor. Now I am meeting you as a vice professor.
Thank you, sir.
So we are very much honored, sir. Thank you. So before closing this, I would like to listen a few feedback from our participants. I have invited our SARC secretary, Dr. Jamaluddin Muhammad. Is he joined, sir? Dr. Jamaluddin Muhammad is actually, we met just a few months back. He is the Director of Agriculture and Rural Development, and he is Director of SARC Development Fund. So when we met in Nepal, we told about this Indian herb. So he suggested, yes, why don't you go for this in a large way, maybe SARC Development Fund, and we can help you. So he was, I think he joined in between, but he disconnected because of some other assignment. So we'll definitely bring him to Goa also. So let him attend our WSC so we can see something for that. Thank you, Jamaluddin Muhammad, in absence here. Now we'd like to few points, few feedbacks from our participants. So they can unmute themselves and they can say. After that, I will request Dr. Panivel sir to give the way forward and the vote of thanks. So few participants, 1, 2, 3. We are unmuting, sir. You can speak, sir. Yes, somebody? Okay. Yes, go ahead. In fact, we are going to provide the certificate based on the attendance. Who have attended, we will provide them the certificate. It's a joint between the World Ayurveda Foundation and Indian Veterinary Association. We will provide the certificate. Thank you. I think no more questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Myself, Dr. Dattatray, and
yes, sir.
I thank all the senior delegates who have contributed very good things, and there is I think it is we have bright future in Pashu Ayurveda, and really we will meet in that Goa conference, and this is well beginning is half done. And thank you all the lectures.
Now may I invite, I think is there, Dr. Meher, you want to speak something? I see something. Dr. Meher. Okay, I'm just muting off. Now may I invite Professor N. Panivel, Professor of Pathology at Tanuvas, and he is also the editor of Indian Veterinary Journal, a Scopus Index journal that is being published since 1924. and it is published by the Indian Veterinary Association. And we, as per our decision of our executive body meeting, from January 2022, every month we will keep one space for veterinary Ayurveda or ethno-veterinary. So one article we will publish it in our Indian Veterinary Journal, and it is been circulated in around 24 countries. So anyone who want to publish, they can publish in our Indian Veterinary Journal. And we don't charge anything for the Indians. The processing fee, the publication fee, everything is free. Only if you want to subscribe it, you have to pay only 800 per year. That much only. Thank you. Dr. Panival, are you there?
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. So on behalf of Indian Veterinary Association, the international online workshop series on veterinary Ayurveda and the globalization of veterinary Ayurveda. First of all, I thank Dr. Jayaprakash Narayan, the patron of this globalization of veterinary Ayurveda conference. So he has given information about importance of Ayurveda as well as he has delivered 9th edition Ayurveda congress. Thank you, sir. So next, our president IVA, Dr. Chiranthan Kadiyan. So he has delivered about what is the global importance of veterinary Ayurveda, in particularly animal health care. Thank you for your kind speech, and also healthy, happy, retired life also, sir. Thank you, sir. And the reporter speech has given by Dr. Sandanu Palai. So she mentioned about a different eminent scientist worked in veterinary Ayurveda. Thank you, madam. And the Professor Lakshmi Day, she mentioned about the Pasir Ayurveda along with the main gynecological disorder treatment using Ayurveda treatment. It's also very useful to us to go for treatment. Thank you, madam. And Professor M.N.B. Noyer. So he mentioned about all the treatment of elephant diseases. He has given very good information about the Kaja Ayurveda along with Mr. Nambudiri Bhatt. He has also given that information. Thank you, sir. And Dr. Vijay Milkija, so President International Indian Federation of Animal Health Company. So he mentioned about that animal husbandry sector, that is the use of Ayurveda. So thank you, sir. And Dr. Anu Sharma, the World Health Organization, India. So he mentioned about the aims and challenges of Ayurveda in veterinary healthcare, and also uses of Ayurveda in the veterinary medicine, particularly cow, sheep, goat, and dog and cats. Thank you, sir. And Dr. Our chief guest, Dr. P.K. Prajapati, so Vice Chancellor of Ayurveda University. He mentioned about what are all the different books in Ayurvedic veterinary medicine, and also the more than 50 medicine formulations are available in the veterinary Ayurveda. So thank you for your information, sir. I thank all the plenary session, panel discussion about international dialogue, particularly the roadmap for establishing Ayurveda as a credible alternative sources, alternative therapy in global veterinary medicine. All the chairman, Professor M.L. Madan, then the moderator, Dr. Barbarua, and the panelist, Dr. J.L. Jagdishan, Dr. Pati, Dr. Ranganathan, Dr. Anuj, Arun Das, Dr. Bhagavat, Dr. Professor Unnikeshan. So thank you for one and all. And last but not least, that all the show that began with that Professor Dr. Bimal Chaudhary. Thank you for your very good, wonderful organization of this conference. Thank you one and all. Thank you all the delegates and the dignitaries attended this workshop. Thank you, sir. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Namaste. We will provide the certificates to the speakers also, to the speakers and moderator also.
प्रजापति सर नमस्कार।
नमस्कार नमस्कार सर नमस्कार।
और आजकल दिल्ली छोड़ दिए?
अभी छोड़े नहीं है, छोड़ने वाले हैं सर।
ओके सर, धन्यवाद, कांग्रेचुलेशन फॉर न्यू
थैंक यू थैंक यू थैंक यू
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Bimal. I am taking the leave now. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we are
Thank
closing
you.
the meeting with your permission.